All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Education Summit EduChat series. So we are back live again on this Saturday evening, whereby we will be chatting with a very interesting educator from Switzerland. So I guess a lot of you have been asking me, hey, who's this person? Wow, it's very exciting to have someone coming from Switzerland talking about education. So a lot of you that are joining us right now, as always, please do comment down below in terms of which country you're coming from. And also for always, thank you for joining us on this education chat series, right? So for today, we will be joined in by a very, very interesting character. So with a very basic introduction for this person over here. Her name is Diana Duong, and she is currently the founder of the Humanity Movement, right? So she's coming all the way from Switzerland. So according to our conversation for the past few weeks, she has been in the education line. She has been also in the corporate line, so she has a vast experience in coaching. And let's hear about what she will be sharing with us in terms of the topic of engaging your heart, your head, your hands for effective education. So without further ado, I would like to invite our very interesting speaker for today, Miss Diana Duong. Hello, Diana.
Hi, everyone. Thank you
Hello,
for
Diana.
thank you for letting me join this wonderful summit of education. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so Diana, just some formalities over there. Around what time is it over there at Switzerland?
So it's 1:30 p.m. actually.
Right, so it's afternoon over there. Currently, it's about 8:30 p.m. over here in Malaysia. So yeah, so glad you can join us in this education chat series for today. Yeah, so Diana, about which location are you from in Switzerland?
So I'm in the French part of Switzerland. Switzerland is separated in several parts. So there is the French part, the German part, and the Swiss-Italian part.
Okay, all right.
So near Lausanne.
Okay, could you tell us more about the location that you're currently in? Is it a city? How does it look like? Just to give a visual representative for the audiences out here.
So it's like 33,000 people living in where I live. It's Yverdon-les-Bains. And actually, it's developing a lot. There is a startups area. There are a big high school here in this city. And but there is not much to do for young people to go out and so on. So we are normally going when we want to meet people near Lausanne or Geneva, that is 1 hour far away from here.
All right, and I guess a lot of questions coming from viewers would be that how's the situation like for COVID over in Switzerland? How are the schools and how are the people going on over there?
So actually, the COVID situation is more like people have to wear masks everywhere, even in the street now. The kids have to wear masks until up than 12 years old, and educators have to work with the mask. So yeah, but we can move. There are limited access to. The meetings are limited to 10 person now in private also. So yeah, it's kind of, it's like this.
Right. So life goes on from there. Yeah. So and by the way, Diana, just for those viewers that are watching in, hello Ian from Philippines, a very good supporter of the Education Summit platform. And Diana, would you be able to tell us about your background, about your involvement in education, as well as some of your interesting stories as well?
So long story short. I've been in economics world. My background is more economy, finance, HR, management. And I used to give courses to students while I'm studying too, mostly about accountability, accounting, yeah. And then I work in several areas, such as after-sales services for big telecommunication company, and also for big companies like IOC, Nestle, and some medicals one, and a lot of area. thanks to the finance background, I got access to all these structures. And what I've noticed is mainly the big issues are humans being. So then I find a job actually in a school these last 3 years in a private school. So it's very interesting to see the difference in how they are operating, because I went to public school in Switzerland. And the private school are more asked projects, and then they just give other tools to the kids that I wish I have had this tool before.
Okay. Would you be able to elaborate more in terms of the tools that are being brought forth for students over there?
So they have, they teach them more about project management, about soft skills too, a lot of philosophy, so asking questions. And we will see afterwards, have a presentation that we can follow, and we go through the point.
Right. So yeah, so I guess could you tell us more about the topic that we are discussing today? So a lot have been asking us about, hey, what's it got to do with hearts, heads, and hands? So a little bit background in terms of the topics that we'll be discussing today.
So as I said, the main problem that I really underlined is human beings. So it's to simplify the name of it and to really focus into understanding it and action. So first is heart. Heart is more about yourself, dealing with your emotions, your energy level, your relation with other stuff. And then heads, so the technical skills and the soft skills. You need to learn to understand this in order to be able to express yourself in this world. And also creativity. So kids have a lot of creativity. What I've noticed in the school is sometimes we put them too much into a box, especially in public schools. And in the private one, the limits are here. They know the limits, but then it's expanding, and sometimes they don't even notice the limits. It's really depend on the teacher, I mean, on the field.
Okay.
And then the
right,
hands, it's about more give and receive, or receive and give.
Right. And just out of curiosity about your personal education background, Diana, how was your education background like, and how did you manage to go through your schooling times when you were younger?
So as you can see, I'm not a Swiss person. I mean, my parents are Asian. So I was born in Switzerland, but I don't speak that well French at the beginning. So my experience was more, okay, I don't know what's happening. I have some kind of fear, but I know that I have to go to school and I love to learn. But then there is a barrier, the language barrier that I've noticed. That's why I was more focusing on numbers because I understand numbers and logics, but not how they use the French language. It's cultural differences, and that makes me more out of the groups mainly because I don't understand the jokes, the things going on. And even I did mistakes while during the exercises or so on, because I just don't understand the base of the question. Yeah, and then I grew up more with then technical skills, and I was more alone and learning and really looking at the dictionary and finding out what all those words mean, and I don't understand. And I also had the problem with my eyes, so I was always in the front row because I don't see that much and asking questions. Since little, I ask questions when I don't know, because I think we have this access, and mainly the kids don't use that much this access in public school, or will limit them because we have objectives to follow and so on, and that's it. That's a pity. But I understand too, it's the balance between, okay, going with the front line and going for the objectives, the planning and the test and so on. And the opposite side is, how much do you really listen to the kids? Do you care deeply about their feelings? And I think there is a lack on this area particularly.
All right. And also for context, for those who are watching, I met Diana in a public speaking competition. So she came in as a terrific judge in giving children, younger children, very good tips and techniques on how to speak from the heart and how to speak authentically and in a way to speak effectively as well. So she's absolutely awesome. So that is why we decided that, hey, we gotta have Diana on towards to share on this education summit platform. Yeah, right. So yeah, I guess Diana, I guess you have prepared some slides for our audiences for today. So I guess let me just bring up the slides over here, and probably we can have some more insight in with regards what you're preparing for us today.
Yeah, sure. So I prepared something that it's just a little slides, and we will go through all this stuff together. And do not hesitate if you have any questions with the chat box, or later on you can access to me easily with Facebook. I'm not answering directly. Sometimes I have other stuff to do, but for sure I will answer somehow to all the questions.
Right. Okay, so ready for the slide? Just let me bring up the screen over here.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at the effective education slide over here right now.
Exactly. Okay. So today we'll talk about effective education. So what is effective education? First of all, before we get started, I really recommend you to take notes. Because when you take notes, then it keeps in your mind somehow, somewhere in your brain. And turn your cell phone into silence or vibration mode, because then you pay attention to what is going on. And if you need support, just contact me per email or Facebook, or contact Jay. So the overview, we will talk about public and private school in Switzerland, different approach and methods, the 3H formula, engaged with the heart, head, hands, and the toolbox, some idea that you can explore and experience. So Switzerland, first of all, Switzerland is well known for cheese, chocolate, all the beautiful lakes, landscapes, views, and you can hike, ski, swim. There is a lot of outdoor sports here. The Swiss people are very more into sports, and also taking time and going into nature. And there are a lot of great opportunities, because we have amazing high schools, and education here is amazing. And also a great system, politics system. I mean, we are a democratic land, so we can vote, and we have also things that we can vote again. I mean, yeah, if you're interested in politics, then we can talk about it too. And Switzerland is also known for money. But maybe here we can say something is that there is a lot of rich people, that is true, but there is also the middle class, which are suffering now, especially during these times. So money, I mean, living in Switzerland costs very, very much. So let's talk more about in terms of savings, how much can we save? And if you have just a middle job, you don't save that much, because life is expensive here. And now let's talk about education. Can you still hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Then, oops, I just have to go back here. So first of all, when we talk about education, we need to understand the needs. And even when we speak to someone, we have to understand the needs of the audience, and mainly the human needs. First of all, we have the survival needs. That means we have to eat, to sleep, to drink, to feel secured. If these survival needs are reached, then we can go to the needs of belonging. Belonging means to belong to a group, to have a community, to talk about things, to share. And then the last topic is self. So people put self after belonging, because we know that if a baby, for example, doesn't have any love, at the beginning when they were just born, they die. There's a study that says, baby, if you just feed them and do nothing with them, don't touch them or whatever, they die. So it's very important to feel this kind of emotions. What makes us humans are emotions. And then the self is more about self-development afterwards. When you have survival belongings, then you think about, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to give? And so on, all the vision. After that, so the difference between really public and, the difference between public schools and private school is mainly private school, what I've noticed, are more into dealing with the self-development of the kid and really listening deeply to what they want and what are their strengths, and not to just work on their weaknesses. And they work also on the acceptance of each other. The belonging is also very present. So what we do is more about creating communities, creating partnership, and working with different people, but making the project a success for everyone. And everyone has to participate, but with the strength of each individuals. It's like individuals awareness till collective awareness. It's to build from bottom up and not the contrary. We go for the project, but we also care about how they feel and who is involved in the projects. What is different with the public school are more asked objectives. I mean, when I was there, at least, the teachers are more asked into pushing our limits and giving us all the technical knowledge that we need to do, like maths, environmental stuff, counting, how to understand history, all the techniques, methods that can make us, like a robot that we can analyze, measure, optimize, maximize. And we are lacking, I think, in public school self-development and self-management, because the teacher are here giving us homework and we have a lot of grades. When I was there, we had a lot of grades. Now it's still very grades oriented. What I think, it's a pity, because sometimes it's just life, and one day you are not in the mood or you have bad family situation, and then you don't pay attention that much to the test or the contest, and you failed. And what I can see in Switzerland, they don't talk about emotions. This may be cultural with Swiss people, but in Asia also we don't talk that much about emotion. But I think it's needed to care more about what makes us human. And then the motivation will come, because the public school, the teacher are really anxious nowadays. They don't know how to get the kids involved anymore. Why? Because the information are available everywhere, and it's more interesting on YouTube or with other social media. You can access easily to any information. I think we should change a bit the optics, how we learn. Our generation learn in certain ways, but the new one is born with technology, and they can actually multitask. They have the skills. What I know is that our brain is we are just using, I think, 10% of it. So 90% is still unknown. This is huge. And I think I don't say that I don't trust that multitasking is something good or bad. I just think that some people can do it and some others can't. at the moment, nothing is permanent, everything is evolving. So yeah. So let's go further. I think I have. So now let's talk about the 3H formula, as I said. So heart is more about you, about me. So who am I? How much do I know about myself? So first of all, you have your vision of the world. It depends on so many factors. It depends on where you're born, as we said, your environment, with which people do you hang out? And also your parents, your family, how do they treat you? How do they speak to you? How do they push you? And also the school system. And then your friends, and then your colleagues. Why do you work? And so on. So it's really important, I think, to bring this on the table with the kids, because the vision is something that will push you forward every time. And then the emotions. It's not only asking, how are you today? It's really deep listening and more asking to have details about how do you feel. Because you have different level of feelings. Like I feel joyful, but for one person to another, joyful doesn't mean the same. So it's more explaining and really embodying these kind of feelings that the person that you're interacting it with can feel it too. We have these skills, human skills, that is called empathy. And I think everyone has it, but some develop it more than others. So if we can bring this even more into the world and have compassion, tolerance, respect, and deep listening and presence, that would be amazing. I have a 11-year-old son, and we talk about all this stuff, and I really take a moment with him every evening before going to bed and asking him how do he feel, and going through his journey and listening and asking him questions. So yeah, we need to focus more into our emotions. That makes us different from robots. And then knowing your superpowers is super important. Why? Because it's like you're a fish and people are asking you to climb a tree. This is not possible. So if you know what type of animals or whatever you want to be, then it will be easier to go out into this world and shine your light and really focus on your strength and do not waste time. I mean, to do something that you're not good at. And people nowadays, I think what I've seen is that they are doing a lot of stuff, but they are not excellent at it. And I think we were all born with a gift. So let's figure out which is your gift. You have personality tests if you want to know more about this. I did one called Gallup. It's from the UK and it's really, really intense, and precise. It gives you a lot of points on your personality and the good and the bad side of each part, or not the bad side, but the problems that you could have with other people. For example, if you are someone who is more into strategic person, then sometimes you will have problem with the creative person because you don't speak the same language. So maybe what we should do is to learn how to communicate. And communication skills are lacking very, very seriously in our world, in schools or also private lives and companies. I would really encourage anyone to do some pitching, some storytelling, some coaching courses, and just to show up and to try it out. There are so much techniques that you can use, And the more you have in your toolbox, we will talk about this, the more you can really see the opportunities and the beauty of this world. And now we turn into the relationships. So as we said, the relationship is very, very important. First of all, the relationship with yourself, where you are living with yourself 24/24. So, I mean, you have voices in your head. I'm not alone. I know I have these voices. And also the monster. And as I tell to people, you need to accept that you have this monster in you, and it's not a bad thing. This monster actually helps you to survive. He's here to make sure you live the longest life, no matter what. And the monster doesn't understand that if you do things with the heart, then you can live longer. But he is here to protect you and prevent you from disease, from whatever. So he makes your body, your technical tools, it's your body, safe. But accept, and what I say to my monster is, thank you for being here and protecting me. It's that simple and that's easy, just acceptance. And then I said to him, thank you for that, but I decide to choose to move on and to act with my heart and listen to it. And then you have a conversation with it. That's what we need, conversation with our relationship. For example, what I've learned with my mentor is more about carefrontation, not confrontation. You care so much about your colleagues, your family, your friends, that you ask them for a carefrontation. It's like, hey, I did it in a class actually, and I made the whole class cry. They were 14 students from 7 to 8 years old. And it was surprising. I was not expecting it because the teacher went out of the class and she said, oh, Diana, I don't know how to do. They are so horrible today. I cannot handle it now. And I say, okay, if you want, just rest a bit and I'll talk to them because I know them. And I had the chance to replace in that class specifically. So I went there, and bit by bit, first of all, they were arguing. I just start with, hey guys, listen, I love you all. Really, you're so different each other, but I really care about you, and I'm here to listen to what is happening because what I see is not what I know from you. And then they just bit by bit opened their heart. First of all, they were criticizing each other. This guy do this guy do that, and then blah, blah, blah. And I say, okay, stop. I want you guys to speak from what did I feel? What are my facts? How did I perceive it? And what do I need in order to move on? And bit by bit, I listened to every case one by one. And then they are starting going deeper into the conversation. Actually, what we discover is that there is a lot of fear, that there is no safe space to talk about it. For example, the fear of something that they see in the television or in social media, or just the fact that they are afraid of the night, so they don't sleep or whatever, this kind of stuff, that they don't talk with their parents, neither their friends, neither adults. So bit by bit, they started to cry, and I said, I want to listen to everyone. And one of the kids was a Chinese kid. And as you know, Chinese don't express that much. And I say, hey, you also suffer from this atmosphere. So I really want to hear from you too. And he said, hey, when I go home after schools, I don't want to eat. I have headaches and I feel very low and I don't want to go to school anymore. And this is the kids that has the most beautiful heart I know in the world. So it's like, and I cried in front of the kids. My tears just fell down. And I was like, oh my God, I need to do something. That's why bit by bit, I started to build up humanity movement and to create more safe space for anyone who wants to express some topics that are considered as taboo, or just express themselves and really go into communication assets. And yeah, that's why I'm here today to show some tools to you guys. So this is the quote that I think it's great for me, and it's listen to your heart. The answers to your questions are inside. I have searched a lot during my life outside, but it's not where we have to go. Since 2 years, I'm doing a personal growth development, and I figured out that I had all the answers in me, but I didn't listen to them, and I didn't put it into actions. Now let's talk about the heads. Are you still here? Jay, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So now let's do an exercise, because talking too much, people have not the attention. So let's get up from our chair, our computer, or whatever. And this is a quick exercise that everyone can do, actually. So Jay, are you up on your feet? Maybe you can stop the sharing of the screen and we'll just do the exercise.
Okay. Yeah. Because if I'm standing up, you can't see my face.
It's okay.
All right, I'll just try it. Yeah. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can. Perfectly. Okay. So what I want to do is first just move the arms. Just move the arms. Stretch and turn. And then jump a bit. Run on the place. Just run, 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 run. And you can also turn one side, turn another side, turn and turn. And then
when you're running, I'm just bouncing on my chair. Yeah.
exactly, you can also bounce. Bouncing is very cool, especially during the meetings and so on. You need to bounce, to activate all your body again in order to pay more attention and to register more information. And then you just stop when you're ready. And you breathe. You just close your eyes and you feel, because now normally your heartbeat has gone up a bit, and you just listen and feel. And now you do a power posture, your power posture, and you just put a smile on your face, shoulder behind, because it's a power posture, feet grounded, and you breathe, and you feel powerful, limitless, and you feel strong, empowered, inspired, or whatever you want to feel. And you breathe and you come back whenever you're ready, and you open again your eyes. So this exercise you can do during classes, even per Zoom. You really guide the people, your audience, in doing that, and it will help. It will help people to really focus on bringing back their attention. And it's just about 2-3 minutes. This is a tool that you can use anytime, because the attention, especially with the kids, are from 2 minutes till 20 minutes. With adults, sometimes it's a bit more depending on their interest on the topics. But still, in every adult, there is a kid. So it's fun. It activates again all the cells and creates some dopamine, some other so there's nonsense to not do it. And then you just go back and be present again, and we can start again the presentation of the next topic, the head. Is that okay for you?
Okay, right. So you get the children to move around during Zoom sessions. I guess during the COVID period, I'm not sure over in Switzerland are the students currently having online classes just as well as in Malaysia as well?
So during the lockdown, because in Switzerland we had the lockdown about 1.5 months, I think, more or less, we did the courses online. And I know that the high schools are doing a lot online now, and the university and so on. So they follow some courses, or they are pre-recorded courses, and they just go through the steps, and sometimes they have accountability groups. They share some screens, some stuff. They just use the technology as it is, but they are really lacking what I feel when I talk to students, accountability. And teachers sometimes feel overwhelmed by the situation, as we are not used to use technology, and they are used to touch the kids, to feel the kids, to really have this body language exchange.
Right.
Because what scientific said, that it's that 7% of what we say, the impact of what we are saying with the words and the voice is about 7% of what people retain. And what about the other percentage? The other is more unconscious. It's about body language. You can train the body language, actually. And one of the most important stuff is energy. And so we are physical body, but what is the difference of someone who is dead and someone who's alive?
A lot of difference.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of difference, but mainly the energy going through your body, making it can move, it can express, it can feel, and it's vibrations, energy. So you have someone, a doctor called Joe Dispenza. He did a lot of studies. I really encourage you to follow him. It's very interesting how he say with simple words how it works with the vibration frequency in order to uplift your energy. What we did, the exercise, can uplift our level of energy. And the more energy we have, the less sick we are, and the more we can learn and share and be present at that moment.
Okay, right. Okay, and by the way, Diana, I just wanting to discuss on a very interesting topic that you just brought up. You talk about hormones, right? In terms of happy hormones like, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, and things like that. Because in my online classes, right, when I'm focusing on students or creating a syllabus, do you believe that as an educator, we should actually focus a lot in terms of bringing in happy moods for students? So, for example, like if you have it in a classroom setting, so of course there's a lot of oxytocin because you have human interaction. You can have fun, right? There's a lot of body contact. But when you go on to Zoom, there's those hormones are not present, right? So you gotta figure out a way to generate those type of connections. Well, I'm not sure any of your comments on that.
So I think we underestimate the power of energy frequency. For example, you can feel me even if it's not the same as in the real life with all your body sense, but you can feel how I speak the vibration of my voice tone, how I am committed or motivated by what I'm talking about. By sharing the stories, you can get people involved and touched and really feel connected to you. It's really some skills that you have inside of you. Maybe you're not aware of it, but actually, whenever you show up somewhere, if you're true to yourself and really present, people can feel it, even through cameras. Maybe not at the scale of being physically present, but at least you can have 80%. And the law of Pareto, look for the 80 and more than the 100%. I think it's great. It's already something that you can do. And it's to do more exercise that can uplift the oxytocin or this kind of joy. I think it's really needed. And what I did during COVID time, I just gave sports classes, because I know that if I'm alone, I wouldn't do it. But if I said I'm giving sports classes every day, 1 hour, then who wants to join? I now have a responsibility. And with responsibility, that's what makes me move into action. And it's beneficial for everyone. It's a win-win-win situation. So maybe look for this kind of a win-win-win situation. That nothing.
Right. And yeah, so say for example, for teachers who are watching right now, Diana, would you be able to share with us in terms of step by step, right? When you are creating an online program or when you're engaging with people, right? Could you walk us through in terms of your internal dialogue, or what do you think of when you are creating an online program that might lead on towards a more interesting approach, or to have more connections with your audiences?
So first of all is authenticity. First is attitude. Is your attitude. Because you can have the best tool ever. If your attitude is not here, people can feel it. Attitude means authenticity. Be yourself. Don't use other person's words or whatever. Create your own way, path, and give value. Whenever you are giving value, the kids or your audience can feel it. And whenever it comes from the heart, as I said before, it's the first topic, people can feel it. You cannot convince everyone. This is not possible. So first, don't make yourself too seriously. Second, because life is not about being serious, and the kids want us to be involved and to play with them. So really close your eyes and think of when you go back when you were in your childhood. The most amazing time you had with your teachers, when was that? Why was that? And just use what you felt at that time, the value given, and use it on the kids again. Because if you remind yourself of when you were kids, what you wanted to do and how you wanted stuff to be, then you will figure out the answer to how to give values and to get them involved.
Right. And I guess when you were asking that question, I guess just to share from my memory that you just triggered it out. It was during a piano class. So in usual terms in classes, teachers will teach you about, hey, this is A, this is note 1/8. So this is the time signature and things like that, until you get to a point whereby the teacher suddenly say, okay, kids, what do you want to sing? What song do you want to sing? I can play it out and we can all sing together. And the entire classroom sort of like just went wild, right? So yeah.
Exactly. It's about this. So the more you do, you ask questions. We will talk about the power of questioning afterwards too. So yeah. Okay. If you don't mind, we can follow the head part, because in the head part, then we have other stuff too.
Okay, so I just brought up the screen over here. All right. So second part. So we spoke about the hand. So right now let's go on to the second part, which is the head.
Yes. So the head is divided, mostly into two. As you can see in that picture, one part is more about technical skills, so learning all that we have to do in order to create. But actually, creativity is the first option when we were born. It's not the first one. So when we were born, we have our brain, which is a muscle, and it learns a lot of stuff. So we can really train it. And since little, we are asking why that, why this, and we are mimetizing what others do. And also very creative when we play with anything around us, we use creativity. So now, so what we can do is ask this question: how do I learn? How do I learn, or how do I work? The different intelligence. So there is intelligence in terms of skill sets, how you learn things, how you memorize things, and intelligence, emotional intelligence, also listening intelligence, visualization intelligence. It depends on everyone. But normally you have some intelligence that are more than others. So figure out which intelligence refers the most to you. And then your skills. List down all your skills. So technical one and soft one. And how I would do it is more brainstorming. I really use brainstorming a lot. Because brainstorming is like putting one topic in the middle of a page and then scaling up and connecting, and then making huge connections between some of them. And then seeing, whenever you are in a bad mood, then you can go back and look at this picture of, hey, look what I know. I'm not that shitty. I'm not that useless. So put it down on paper, your technical and soft one. And also what I do is to really register all the positive comments that I get from people that I like, mostly, that I give credibility. And anytime I'm not in a good mood, because we have emotion and that's okay to accept and admit it, I would go through this in order to really swipe my energy level and to not let my monster take the control over. Then I use a lot with the kids, and also in every area, in networking session, at work. So whenever I use the power of questioning, of questions, that means instead of making assumption, ask questions. Because when you ask questions, then you will be surprised by the possibility of the amount of different answers, and you learn. And then if you learn, you win. And if you are surprised, you create oxytocin and whatever, or sometimes surprise in another way, that you say, oh, the world is so big and we don't think the same, but his way or her way works too. And actually I can apply it, some part of it, into my day-to-day life or whatever. So really deep listening while asking questions. It's not one thing just to ask, but it's about attitude. So also listening and really repeating what you understand, or rephrasing. For example, with the kids, especially when you ask a kid a question, he will give you an answer for sure. Then you just rephrase. Then he could understand that there are other ways to say this too, and also feel connected to what you understood or not, and to then figure out a common base and to build up. So the foundation is there. And then how often do I use my creativity? Because when we are kids, we use it a lot. Everything is like limitless. And bit by bit, when we grow up with the system that is here, we fit in. And maybe it's for several reasons. It can be for security, for, I don't know, just because it's comfort zone and it's easier, nothing to worry that much, and it's more peaceful for you. It's okay, but be aware of it. I think if you continuously creating something, even little things, I mean, cooking, for example, just add new ingredients into your recipe and test it. And this is creativity. And also working with different tools, another one. Because we are using StreamYard, there are Zoom, there are other platforms. So maybe just learn a bit about it, and you have the skills, it's in you. And then you choose. The more you have, the more tools you have, the better options you can choose in order to serve yourself and others. So that is my point about it. And then, do you have any questions, Jay, with the head part?
Yeah, in fact, quite a lot of questions over from my side over here, especially with regards to creativity.
Yeah.
So we talk about there's two parts, right? So there's teachers exemplifying creativity in creating interesting class to engage kids, and there's the second part, which is to get kids to tap into their creativity ability, right? To get them to use their brains and their creativity juice to come up with solutions, to interact, to make things more fun in class. So let's start with the first part, right? In terms of the creation of interesting courses or interesting online programs, or to engage kids in a more fun way. How can teachers be able to bring in their creativity to create more meaningful lessons online? Yeah.
So first of all, is to understand the system and the tools they have in their hands. In a classroom, what do we have? First, the environment. What do we have? And you can answer to that question.
Yeah, we have like a million things in the classroom, so it goes down to chalk in terms of like the bottled water in front of your kid. So everything is like an object that you can actually use, right?
Okay. For example, what is this?
It's a white cup with a metal straw. Yeah.
Okay, the white cup. Okay. You see just the white cup, but actually there is something in it, the cup.
Right.
And how can you use that cup differently? So you can do this exercise with the kids. You just bring anything and say, hey, what do you see? And what can we do with this? So now kids will give you the answer. You just ask the question out there. And you will see that there is no limitation for them. Oh, it can be a hat. It can be something to drink. It can be something to put the flowers. It can be something to talk to him. So there is no limitation. It's more this kind of little tiny stuff. Just bring a chalk. Hey kids, what can we do with that? Right. I don't know. I'm here to learn. You are the creative one. Is give them the responsibility that they are teaching me and teaching others. And they will give you all the answers. And this is how this way you bring creativity. I also did with the class just this week an exercise called World Cafe. There are several areas in the classroom with a piece of paper. You can also use tissues or whatever you want. And I work with brainstorming with them. And I just put some words on each area. I put communication. I put tools and marketing. And then there was a leader of each topic who is staying there and taking notes. But there are also several other pens for other kids to write down their words. Every kids are clients in these cafes, and they have to put at least 3 words, or say to the leader to write 3 words down for them. And the leaders are turning too, because they also need to give their words. and they change roles. And it's this kind of role playing that works. And then we collect, and it was amazing because the kids go there and really put the words, and by listening to others, they have other ideas. So it's developing from itself. You just give there the freedom to create, but in a safe space. And then I took all the paper and I put them on the walls. Mm-hmm. And then each leaders at the beginning who were chosen say it out loud, all the words. And then the kids just understand it. And then the lesson is okay, we have several words that can be in same topic, same area. So for example, for communication, there was digital communication. And there was human body communication. And then together with all the class, I asked someone else to circle all the thing that he think or they say it's about digitalization or this kind, and we have several subtopics. And the main goal of this is to start from a big word, because it's big. When it's talk communication, it's very huge, massive, and it's not seen or understood by everyone at the same level. And then bring back all these big topics into small pieces and build it up again.
Right.
And connect with all the topics. Why communication? Why I choose tools? Why I choose marketing? Because to see how much they know, and then from that way, I can build up something with the kids that they need, that they are interested in learning. And it's this, you just give some little exercise and they will give you and ask you for more.
Right. And I see that, Diana, you seem to be very confident in this, right? Was this always the case? You have been exuding this type of creativity, implementing it in class?
Not at all. So I'm more an introvert. Maybe they find introvert and extrovert. What I've learned from a friend is that we misunderstood this word, because introverts are perceived badly normally in our society. Actually, it's not. It's more about how you recharge your energy. Introvert recharge themselves when they are alone. Extrovert can recharge themselves amongst each other, and it gives them energy instead of taking them energy. So I was more someone who prefers to be alone. I can activate my bubble study or my bubble, and I don't hear anymore anything. When I work at school, I was very focused, and this is thanks to my parents, I think, because when I was young, they were very loud. I mean, Asian culture in the family, they talk loudly, and I sleep in the same room with my two sisters, so I needed this ability to protect myself with my bubble. And now I don't feel the need to use it that much, because I learned other skills to build up myself and my confidence. So first of all, for teachers, what I've learned is about heart set and mindset. So first, heart set is why you're doing this must be so strong that you can die for it. Because nowadays we have all different skill set areas that we excel. We have to choose which path we go. But knowing that nothing is permanent, you can choose again. And this is the main game. If, for example, today I didn't get the attention of my students, my goal is to make myself in shape in order to say, hey, how can I get even just one kid involved tomorrow? It's to fix little steps. Jimmy Quick, a guy who is talking about quick learning and fast reading and training the brain, he says that he has a formula. It's P, how do you say, P times E times SSS. P is for purpose. You need to have your purpose. But having a purpose is not enough. A lot of people have a purpose, but they don't go for it. E is for energy. How much energy do you have and you can put into this purpose? Then SSS is small, simple step. So just focus on one by one, and bit by bit, you will just grab them all, because whenever you are involved, and kids especially can feel it. I never had problems with difficult kids. Sometimes they come into my office because they were punished, and I talk to them. I ask them, why did you do it? Did you understood why you're punished? Because sometimes they don't, and they feel that it's unfair. They are upset. They are frustrated. Like adults too, we also have this kind of feelings. And then when you talk to them and you really repeat and rephrase with your own words what you think he did wrong, or what you understood that he did wrong, or who punished him and why, they will feel like, oh, someone is really listening and caring, and I understood better my mistake, because I was only maybe thinking about myself, and I was not aware of it. Sometimes kids just do. They are into actions. They not think that much. They just do, and they get punished, and they were surprised because they think they are doing great. But it's more setting the basics rule of the class. In each class, I think, even presentation, even with jobs, with people, there is a need to fix the space.
Right.
What we can do,
Diana,
the agreement. Yeah.
yeah. So Diana, you spoke about the PESSSS, the small ones, right? So throughout the years as an educator, right, what were the crucial small steps that really changes the most in terms of the experiences when you are dealing with students or conducting classes in your school? Yeah, would you be able to share like three of them that really is one of the most crucial ones? When you make that shift, it basically transforms the entire classroom into a much different environment.
First step is take care of your energy level. First step is more me. It's how I feel first. Because when you're not feeling okay, then the person, as I said, the non-verbal communication is more than 70%, I think. So it's more me. How do I feel? Am I able to give this presentation at that moment? Or if I have to do it at that moment when I'm low energy, how could I switch the energy? Like the little exercise to just jump.
Right.
Tony Robbins, really, he's a motivational coach. He jumped before all his seminars or big stuff. He just activate in order to be present, and not in the past or in the future, present with the audience, with the students. That's one of the big goal, energy level, to manage it. And whenever I feel low, share it with the students or the person around you, and ask for help. Actually, ask for help. Give the lead to others. It's now education needs to be leaded in different way. You are not the one knowing everything. The kids know more than you think, because they are born in this world where information are accessible everywhere, and they are used to deal with information. We sometimes, what I've noticed is that they say that adults doesn't give them credibility just because they're young. Just a matter of age. But this is an old thinking of old system, because the adults, I mean, the generation above us, Jay, they were more into a structure, and they have just some mentors that know everything. They don't have access to internet, so they just know someone who they follow. Now we have multiple follow streams and multiple areas and different ways to learn. It's up to you. As an educator, what we need to show people is all the tools they have access, and how to select the best one for the best solutions solving.
Right. And when we spoke about increasing energy, right? What are some of your ways of increasing your energy when probably at times you might feel low? I know for me, 1 cup of coffee might trigger a spike in energy in 20-30%. So just wanted to find out from your side.
So first is to identify why. As you said, I take coffee when I didn't sleep well. Because I just take coffee at that moment because I know that coffee has an effect. I believe that coffee has an effect on me, and then he has an effect on me. So it's more focusing on where is the problem first. First of all, where's the problem? Why do I feel low energy? Is that because of my relationship? I had a fight with my husband or whoever. Why? And then focus back on moments. Close your eyes, because when you have your eyes open, automatically you're analyzing everything. Your brain is doing the work and you're losing energy. So close your eyes, breathe, really breathe deeply, concentrate on your breathing. And the power posture. I do sometimes just power posture during 1 minute, and it's enough to switch the energy. If it's not enough, then I just rewind some faces, some talks that I have with people that I can see the switch of going low till high, because I can do this with people and having their eyes sparkle. And it just gives me the feeling again of, I know why I'm doing it. And it's more, when we want to live in the present is to feel. When we think we are not in the present, when we feel we are in the present. And what makes us in the present is all about feeling. And to let it flow, actually. Let the emotion flow, not blocking it, not feeling frustrated, and creating cancer. It's more, okay, I feel frustrated. I know it's now, it's not forever. At that moment, I feel frustrated. Can I do something for it? Or do I want to do something for it first? Yes, then which are my options? Here, okay, and choose one and go for one. And sometimes I just do a blackout during a whole day or 2-3 days per month, because I need. And I know that my level of productivity, efficiency is higher when I'm not on that level, and it's to be aware and say, hey, will someone die if I don't do this today? Will someone die, really? If not, then rest. Because you know that you can do this stuff in 1 hour instead of today with 5 hours maybe. So just make yourself aware of it. That's how I do.
I see. Right. So okay. So very interesting stuff. So we talk about three things, right? The small steps. So first one, managing your emotional state or your energy state. Make sure that you do the best that you can to raise up your energy before even attempting to go on into online classes, or especially this time. Yeah. Or what about any other? So we spoke about energy. Any others that you want to share?
Go back to question yourself. And the last one is the last one is more about making something that gives you energy. Because our body, for example, sports. I do also sports. Why? Because when you move your body, then you're in the now, because you feel things. Your body activates and you're into now, and you cannot go back into depressive modes. And maybe if you're in a depressive mode, it's just a state of mind now. Then you can switch it by sports, by listening to something or watching something that makes you smile. Stupid things it can be. It's okay. The problem is when you overuse things, overeat things, overdo things. When you stay in simplicity and you trust the process and you know your why, you have this vision. And as I said, go back to your strengths, to the vision board that you build up for yourself. And you're focusing back on your strength. And really, the first question I ask myself is, if I don't do this now, would someone die? If not, then I can take my time. Take your time. And sometimes you need time. And when you're on that kind of state, your body is telling you something. Your subconscious is telling you something. When you fear something, it's because you're not going to your desire. Behind every fear, there is a desire. The most you fear it, the most you desire it. So what are your deepest desire that you're not doing? Listen to them.
Okay, right. So, yeah, that's a very interesting one. So, I guess teachers or even you yourself, if you catch yourself being in a low state of energy or being not in the mood, so probably these are some of the questions that you may ask yourself, probably. But I was just like to find out from Diana, right? So, during that state of a moment, would you actively do it? Because in a way, you might not even have the mood to question yourself those kind of questions. But do you often do it when things like that happens? When you find yourself in a lower emotional or energy state of mind, or do you just have to pull it through in a way?
It became automatic because I worked on myself, and I'm someone who is an eternal student. I consider myself as an eternal student. I love to learn and to give. And the more you coach people, whenever you open your mouth or you're doing an action, you're actually coaching in a good way or a bad way, but you're coaching, you're giving advice, and you're expressing. And is how much are you aware of it? And when you feel low, you can coach someone, and then you feel better because you focus on problems of others and not your own little you, your ego. And this is a long-term communication, self-talk, and you have exercises to reinforce your mindset. But when you have very often that kind of a bad mood, then I would advise you to do your mood board during a week, to focus on what do you eat, how much do you sleep, how much do you drink, and what kind of substance do you put into your bodies, because it's scientific. I mean, something takes more time to digest and it will take your energy out. So what I do, it's a weekly planner, not on planning what I have to do, but it's more a weekly mooder. And to say each day what time I wake up and so on, even unconsciously, if you start, put it in papers. And this exercise, you can do it with the kids. Whenever they feel low, they just put the red mark maybe at the time. Even during the class, they have their mood board and they just do some designs. It's like a heart that I feel very great, and a cross. Let them choose their own labels. And then you analyze it together at the first beginning of the Monday in the morning, together with all the class. Hey, this is the graph of my mood board. We have a lot of tools that we can use in order to measure, because our brain needs to understand. That's why it's our heart first, emotion and so on. But then we need to understand these emotions in order to deal with it. And then to create options to deal with it.
Right.
And then that comes the hands.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess, Diana, you have been telling me that you have been working with some schools as well as the management level of school teachers as well. So would you be able to share with us during the transition during COVID, when COVID happens, right? What were the most important transitional advice when you were working with the management level that was really important during the transition phase during COVID period? Yeah.
How much do you nourish? What do you nourish yourself with? Nourish in terms of food also, but also nourish your brain with. If you're someone who is focusing on the media talking about COVID, that's the reason why you feel low. It's simple. And if you get fatter, it's because you don't move enough. Your body is just a tool to analyze what you're doing. Is it right or wrong? That's it. The body just reacts. And I think people are disconnected. It's like the head is one side and the body the other side, and we don't connect. And the expression is not the truth. When you express with your voice and with your truth, and it's okay to say, I don't know. Even in front of the kids, it's a good example. I would say to people, lead with example. We are all perfectly imperfect. Nobody is perfect. That's a fact. What is for sure, since we were born, is that we will die. The other things, the journey is all up to you. It's how you tell yourself your own story. And one of the exercises I give to people is also like, okay, you're telling this story to me. Tell this story in a positive way now. Change, switch. Tell the story, for example, for someone who has less than you. Then you will bring up the positive part of what you learned through your story. Or tell a kid the story. You won't use all these negative, heavy terms. You will change your vocabulary. You will adapt. One of the biggest power of humans is adaptability. Since little, we adapt. And I think we underestimate our ability to adapt. In a few days, we adapt to new workspace, new environment, new people. And it's automatic. We balance it and it becomes the new normal. So during these hard times for someone, for me was the best time because I get to slow down. I was someone who's had millions of ideas and just jumping around and so on. And I took the time to slow down and to appreciate to have my voices and being with myself and connecting with the world through digitalization. This is huge and amazing. And I met you, Jay, during these times, and I get the chance to be judged with the contest that we met there, and to see the kids all around the world, to talk to people on different organizations, to learn new skills. And that's wonderful. That's just wonderful. So it's up to you with which lens you want to see the world.
Okay, right. Yeah, so I guess there are a couple of questions over here from the audiences. So let's bring them up and see what are the main questions all over from here. First one over here, I guess we have Aziz. Aziz Rajab, welcome again, Aziz. Aziz has been a very good supporter of the education chat. So his question over here, hi, humans are God's best creation. They possess the power to choose right or wrong, good or evil. My view on the first H, the heart, on your comments in terms of humans being able to choose between right or wrong, good and evil. So in terms, any comments with regards
yes,
to it?
Sure. So first of all, I would say right or wrong, good or evil, depends on everyone. Something is right for me isn't right for others. And it's to tolerate and accept this. People, mostly since I was little, I noticed that we want to be right because the school system or our parents teach us this is right or this is wrong. Actually, it's not right or wrong. It's just another way to do things. It's, for example, to go to the peak of a mountain, you have different ways. You can go to the normal path that are designed by humans for humans, and you just go to the path to reach the peak. So this is the A way. The B way would be a direct way, cross the jungle and whatever, you just go there, the quick way. And there is another way, is to take the long term and to visit all around the mountain before reaching. It's the longest way, but maybe the best way. Or maybe you cannot reach the peak, but you appreciate the journey. It's really up to you at this moment of your life or your past life. It's up to you to choose. And what I use as a formula is also like, first, believe and trust. Whatever is God, the universe, or whoever you want to trust, especially yourself, hopefully, the trust the process. Trust that what you're going through now is in order to make you stronger, better, more aware, and more wise, more credible. It's part of your story, and no one story is the same. We are 8 billions now, and you can just connect with anyone, and every story is so different. That make us unique. Even the DNA is unique, but more than that, the story. And this is up to how you tell the story. You have your strength in this story, and I think people are not using enough this storytelling to reach others people hard, not head. They are copying the model of other storyteller and not using their own way to speak. It's okay to not be perfect, even in your own languages or whatever, because the intention of what you're submitting and offering to others is what people will retain. People that cross my life or my way, like Jay, we just see a third time, I think. It's just about, wow, this person has something to give. I have a good impression and I appreciate her way to talk. It's subjective, it's totally subjective. And you will have haters, you will have lovers, but that's okay. It's part of the life. We cannot like 8 billion people. We cannot. And one of the agreement I did with myself is do not take things personally. I've learned a lot with that one. It's really recent, this one, because I see now, I understand that depending on the mood of the person at that moment, he can be maybe the nastier person at that moment, but it's because you are triggering something that is deeper and awakening something that he didn't deal with. And he sees in you something that he hated maybe before in his childhood or with his education or whatever. And it's just to say, I understand. Sometimes you don't need to go in his direction because he's in the negative circle, the circle down. And you have the ability, because you're more aware, and you can circle up. But choose wisely to not go with other. And criticism are great because they make you learn. I mean, you have to defend yourself if it's a personal attack. You have to, because if not, you will feel this emotion of frustration and not enough again and again. It's a self-talk repeating itself. Oh, he said this, he said that, he said this again and again. And you're just, it's not about him. You take it personally at that moment. So it's how to go out and say, hey, no, this is not me, because I see my strength board and I know it's not me. And he knows just a part of me. Who is he to judge who I am? Who am I to judge others? I just can say, thank you for sharing. I accept what you have to give, but it's not my way to reach the mountain peak or to do my journey. And it's okay. But thank you for sharing other methods that confirms me that I'm on my way. I decide to walk my talk, to do my step-by-step, and I discover. And it's all about exploring and experiencing the infinite world that we have. Instead of looking for paradise. Paradise is how you deal with your life now. It's not in the future.
Right. Okay, so yeah, so I guess it applies for teachers who are dealing with students as well. So one of the most common examples was that during online classes, there are a lot of things that you as yourself as a teacher, you can't control. especially in terms of the reaction of students. So I guess a better way would be to really accept the circumstances and to really learn from the feedback coming from the students by itself.
So I have another exercise I saw, and I did it already. Tony Robbins is doing it too, and other coaches too, is to directly turn the attention into one person. Don't take the weakest one, okay, at that moment. Take one student and focus on him. And then focus on him, but dealing with many topics. For example, okay, how do you feel now? Tell me more about this. What is your experience about that? And if I understand, is it like this? And how can we help you out? And so on and so on. And all this questioning, the other students will listen. And because you give the lead, you're the leader of the questions, but you're not the one who giving the value yet. You're just absorbing. And the kids have another language to say things. What I do is also I get the kids the role of teacher. I use kids to teach. It's like, okay, today we're talking about this, but who want to share something and be the teacher and tell us something about this topic? And amongst kids, they will listen more and communicate in a way that you will be surprised, and they teach you how to communicate with the kids' language, or or it can be your colleague's language. Can someone else say this in other terms? Or you just ask, who did understand the subject? And kids would raise hands. Come over and share your points. And then the other kids will pay attention. And with other topics, they will be the leader. They will be those who giving values. And then you train them to use their voice, to speak up, to build their confidence. And this is so, so, so important in the life. Is about trusting in yourself. I changed a lot of jobs in several areas, if you listen to the beginning of the conversation, because I trust so much in my skills, in my technical skills, and that I see life as abundant and no limits. I mean, I am someone who will figure out 1,000 solutions for one problem. So I don't fear. And I know how to connect with people, that I will always have something to eat or a roof, even if I have zero in my account. The main value is network. And if you can give kids accountability, that, hey, this teacher show me and give me the lead, the responsibility, then you would just get the class bit by bit involved. In the private school that we use a wheel, and there are several responsibility on the wheels, and this wheel turns every day or every week depending on the choice of the class, and you have several tasks, role, and it's really from individual responsibility to collective responsibility. It's if you didn't do your task, all the wheel is involved. It has something, it's all the chain. Everything is connected. And if you teach since little that the kids are not alone, and it's not, I can speak whenever I want and when I do whatever I want and nothing, no one cares, it's okay. That's not true. You're vibrating certain energy and you're disrupting something. And accept that in your classroom there are different human beings, and some would feel frustrated even if you feel you're given value, but some others receive it in different way. To understand that emotions are not something that we can control. We can learn to understand them, then we have to let them flow. If we block them, that creates illness, that creates cancer, that creates depression, anxiety, fears. But if we let them flow and we trust in the process and in our skills, then you have the best answers for your future life.
All right. I guess, Diana, let's take one more question before heading
Yeah,
on with the remainder of your slides. So
yeah,
we have
sure.
a question over here. So how do you lead a team to continue to have the energy, fun virtual learning during time COVID, and how to relate to parents who are not very cooperative? So we talk about energy in terms of having energy, managing your self energy. So I just like to take a step into the word energy, right? Because
Sure.
I guess there's a lot of definition from different perspective and different
Yeah.
people. How would you define energy in your own term? And let's move on into this question as well from that context.
So simply energy, by observation, by observation, by knowing myself, I know when I am full of energy or when I'm in low energy. It comes from inside. As I said before, everything is inside. You have the answer inside you. So as you said, your perception of energy is not the perception of other. That's why it's important to know your colleagues or your team and to give them valuable tools that they can manage themselves. I really think self-management is key, but when you're not used to it, then you need guidance. Sometimes, if you're a team leader or manager, it's hard for you to be the person who really guides because they already have some apprehension, notion, frustration amongst not you, but your role. Mainly it's about the role. Maybe they're jealous of your role, whatever reason. People don't like manager that much, what I've heard about and what I experienced. It's because sometimes they never had the chance to manage. I would do like the kids, put the responsibility on each individuals of the team and make a wheel and turn the wheel. Today, you are the happiness manager of this meeting. You are the time manager of this meeting. You are this and that, and split the roles. Everyone has to have one role. You have the role of engage people to participate, and they will create their own way to engage people. If they don't know, Google it. I mean, we have all the tools. They will just give them your heart, and they will give you everything. Everything they can at their level of energy at that moment. And then if you are used to lead and to guide people, to manage people and projects, you use a lot of your intrapersonal skills is to bring them on board again. And while the Zoom meeting, then behind the scene, you need to first, one by one, really reach out to your team. Maybe if it's 100 people, it's not that easy, but then you select some people that you can feel the energy level and they are leaders, to give them also the responsibility of bringing the others here. And if I have the responsibility of, let's say, 10 person, each day I ask these 10 person, or I put them into a WhatsApp group or whatever group, and I really ask them to share, or I share mine. And even if they just listen to it, it makes you human, and people like what is true and human. And it's the only way, I think, to have the chance for not having wars anymore. For example, COVID showed us that when we have outside enemies, we grab together, we collaborate, we cooperate, and we bring out the best of ourselves. I did a flyer for my area for people who need help or want to give help. And actually, I have much more people who give help than want help. So people are here to give. That's why the next topic is about the hands. Yeah. So for answering to the question, how to relate to parents who are not very cooperative, it's up to you because you are a level, you are first aware. So you have the responsibility to get people involved with your creativity and with your skills, technicals and soft skills. This is your responsibility. It's individual responsibility. If you think that parents are not cooperative, why? Because maybe they are facing a moment of their life that is not okay. Maybe we should bring parents on board, just create a safe space room for them to express their worries, their fears. This kind of space is needed. So whoever wants to create them, open up some chat rooms. Just even with your phone, the friends list, just ask, hey, how are you really doing? And describe yours first. Because maybe people don't share because they feel, nah, why does he want from me and he doesn't give me anything? So if you share your truly first, being vulnerable, authentic, and caring, kind, is the key to human peace. Hope I had answered to your questions.
Okay. Yeah, I really like on how you suggested the task role. So is it something like a wheel whereby there's like 20 different tasks and everyone would,
Exactly.
right?
And you
Everyone's
have
assigned a task.
you have post-it, your post-it name, and you just stick. You have several ways to create this wheel. Actually, it
Right,
depends
right.
to your creativity and to your classroom creativity. Let the kids create it. You have 3 versions of doing things. Do it yourself, which is cool because you control everything and so on, but it's longer and it's less fun. Second, do it for you. Do it for you style is more, okay, I do nothing and I just give an exchange, maybe money or whatever, and it's done for me. So this is nonsense for some stuff because it's like, okay, I don't get involved at all and I will less appreciate it. And there is a third thing is do it with you. And here you grab people together. And there is a market study that shows that whenever it's people participate in a bit of the process, they will give more money to buy it. They are willing to pay it more. Why? Because you're giving value and emotional attachment. And people give values to this. And kids remember emotional stuff. And the other skills, like technical skills, when you don't need, you will forget because your brain just wash it. It's not needed to survive, so I don't need to remember it. Or whenever I need to remember it, the most important thing is where do I find the information, or who has the information, who has the money, who has what I need.
And Diana, just to highlight a little bit on the task wheel, right? In your own class, dealing with kids below 15 years old, what are the most interesting tasks that you assign to your students? Just an idea for those who are watching over here who are teachers.
So the task is we do every morning and every end of the day weather forecast. What does that mean? It's like everyone speak and say what he liked, what he don't like, or his plan if he want to add something. But everyone has to say, and if you don't say, you just say, I don't have anything to say, and you pass the voice to someone else. And to pass the voice, you can use a cup or a branch, and you just physically pass the thing. And kids who are visual see it. Kids who can listen to it or whatever. And do it in the morning, then you know how to adapt the tools. If you feel that every kid is low energy, you will do more. You will choose amongst your toolbox some exercise that will uplift the energy of the classroom first.
Right.
Or take 1 hour to speak deeply on the fear they have or on the feelings they have. And then go back to work and then do a forecast again to see how is it after this. But the information is like a study market. I study economics. It's the same thing. Before launching a product, you need to know your audience, your target, and how do they feel? What are their needs? It's nonsense to continue your course if you have no one listening to you. Just take time to be human with them and to play with them. And you will yourself be surprised how playfulness you are and how you can bring joy and give them just really deep connection. Teach them that my role, yes, is to give you technical or soft skills, but I also care deeply and I want you to succeed and to not follow my path, and share your story with the kids. Share your losses or your emotions, like, oh, I am frustrated with this, and say why, but then switch into what I've learned from it. And the kids will use to this methods unconsciously. But when they grow up, they will use this. Oh, I felt this. This is what happened. And I needed this, but I didn't get it. And now I learned this. And next time I will do it differently. How? Do you have any ideas? And kids will give you ideas. And I think it's all about communication.
Okay.
Really.
Right. All right. So I guess let's get back into the final part of the 3H. So we spoke about the head and heart. So the hands and heart. So the hands and the head. So right now let's go to the third part. So let me just.
So
bring
it's
up
the hands now.
Right. Okay. So sorry. The head and the heart we have covered. So right now it's down to the hand part.
So I would just finish with the head here. The two best superpowers of the brain. One is memory and one is imagination. But it is also the two most big monster. Why? Because memory make us live in the past, and sometimes we focus more on bad memories. And imagination always make us expect things and want things that maybe we cannot have now. But there are also the powerful tools if you use it wisely, because memory can memorize all the good things and the learnings, and then to not go into the same hole again. And imagination can give you the vision and the motivation to continuously work for your dream. So next. Okay. I have just the hands. So the hands. What I say is to learn to give genuinely, and you will receive massively. For my background, what I've learned and I've noticed is that for me, it's easy to give, but very hard to receive. I never learned to receive. Since little, my parents are asking me to give. At school, they are asking me to give. Everyone is asking me to give. And so I teach myself how to give. But then I never really learned how to receive. And I think this is one of the most important topics we have to deal with. We love to give because it creates in us oxytocin, dopamine, or whatever. So it makes us feel good, and we feel connected, and we feel we added value to someone's life or our lives or whatever, or nature's. But when it turns back into ourselves, then we have these self-talks and these memories that we are not enough, we are not this, we are not that. Instead of what we are not, I will switch the question and ask you, hey, how do you feel? You are nothing but a soul into a human body experiencing life on planet Earth. And that's why I don't like those affirmations who say, I am powerful, I am. Because the word I am is not I feel. When I am, it's like a statement, a fixed statement. And I feel is something that is always changing, like the weather. The weather is never the same. So I prefer, and I would advise people to use I feel and to dive deep into emotions, because I am is more the robotic methods. So I will use the affirmation, I feel this or that. And how I receive, I just do one simple action. It's gratitude. Gratitude is something so powerful. The most powerful I experienced in my life. Actually, I now remembered that I was doing it since I was little. Because at the beginning of my life, I listened to my parents, the first human that I've met. Then they always said that, yeah, they come from an area that is Vietnam, and there was the war there. They had nothing to eat sometimes, and they were refugees, and they saw people die. And since little, I feel grateful. Grateful for being born in this country. Grateful to have the basic needs covered and more than covered, and a system that allows me, if I don't have a job, to get paid even a certain percentage and to still maintain a quality of life. So it's really gratitude with simple things. Gratitude to have feet, to walk, to have hands, to do things, to have a brain to share, to learn, to create, to have wonderful connections. And gratitude is first of all about feel it, embody it, instead of just saying it's good already. Saying it out loud or writing it down, it's good. But it's even more powerful to deeply, genuinely, humbly process it through your body. It's all about embodiment. And to receive, you have many ways. You can, so there are at least 5 ways to love. And while I understand this, then my life changed. Because I had some expectation from others, ex-boyfriends or family members, colleagues, but I was not aware. Sometimes the way you want to receive things is not the way you're giving things. There are at least 5 different ways. For example, gifts. Some people express their love by giving people gifts, material. So here is a gift for you. And some people love to receive gifts, so they match the language. They speak the same language of love. Another type is quality time. For me to express love is spending quality times with you. So this is how I give love. And how I receive, I think, is also this. And then there is another option, is touch. I feel you love me when we touch each other often. If not, then I am like, no, it's not love. There is another one that is also, I don't remember now. We said touch, quality time, gifts. And other is about, I don't know, just check it out on Google, but it's about caring the way you care, I think. So there are different ways. I can share with you the link afterwards, but I don't remember. Just Google it, languages of love, and learn which one you are and express it openly discuss it with your partner, your life partner, because sometimes you're expecting him to give you gifts and he thinks that you're like him, like just loving quality time. So there is a misunderstanding creating huge frustration. And that's why these hands are called action mode. You give from one hand and you receive from another, and you balance it. And do more what gives you energy, and take more what gives you energy, and do less what take you energy, and give less what take you energy. And this you can do with the weekly planning and to really understand who you are. But you need to take time for that. So, Jay, do you have any question about the hands? If not, we are going through the toolbox.
I guess let's complete the thing first before we go on to any of the Q&A, right?
Sure. So the toolbox, your next steps. So as we say, now we learned about all the 3 H. We go through it, and now we need to know what kind of tool we have. So what you need is course workbooks, guidebook, weekly planner, habit tracker, all this stuff. You can do it yourself, or there is a bunch of it on internet. So really take it. There are so much information that you can use them, and build up your own guideline and share it with others. Don't use it only for your own sake, because maybe if you think, but this is stupid, or this is just so simple that everyone knows, that's not true. Everyone does not know, and we are 8 billion, and someone for sure think that is valuable. So go for it. Next. So step-by-step homework. Step 1, brainstorm. As I said, put the big topic. Maybe this is your vision or your mission or your strength. Choose today one topic that you want to brainstorm on. And then amongst this huge cloud of brainstorming, after that, you choose 3 options that you feel it's the next step I want to do. 3 priorities. Only 3. And then trust. Believe in those you've chosen. Second step is planning, elaborating stuff, and acting on it. So you choose 3 options and you want to work on it. You plan it on your schedule. Really, you put these blocks into your schedule. So for example, I will take afterwards my concrete example. And then step 3 is collect, measure, and optimize. So collect information from yourself, from outside external sources, and also your feelings internal, and measure the evolution of it, and then optimize it. This you can use graph, you can use Excel numbers, or whatever platform you have. Just Google it or let me know. I can give you some. How I do. So I don't have it here. I have a brainstorming stick on my cupboard, and on it's how I see life. In the middle, I have abundance life, and I put a lot of topics from my health to my fitness, to my energy, to my relationships, all on the big mood board, vision board, kind of. But I draw it myself, because I think that going back to art is something very important, to do it with your own and create your own masterpiece. And then I stick it because this is my whole big vision. And every time I wake up or before I sleep, I see it. Just seeing it, I know exactly what I put on it. So it's just reminding me and great kind of energy that I need from wake up to go to bed. And then I trust this. I really feel the abundance, feel the connection, and feel all what is happening. And then I plan it. So I take another piece of paper and I put humanity movement on it. And I really say, okay, what I want to give, what I want to receive, and how can I give all my skills, my assets, and how will I build it up, with whom, and so on, and why I'm doing it. So I have another masterpiece for humanity movement, another masterpiece for XP 8.0, which is Experience and Explore Infinite World, another masterpiece for ecotourism, another masterpiece for a lot of things. So this is all my ideas. I put them down and out there. Yeah, thank you, Jan, for checking out. So the language of love is word of affirmation, gifts, acts of services, quality time, and physical touch. Exactly. And so just figure it out, which one do you like, and express it to your partners, and listen and ask back the question, which one does he like? Okay, and then I collect all this and I make it into action. Like here, I'm acting with Jay. And whenever I had the chance to speak up, I speak up and I share my product. The more I share, the more I trust that I'm on a good way. And if people buy it or listen to me and I feel that they are attracted to what I'm saying, and I can switch automatically their energy too. I can give them energy because I'm passionate about what I'm saying. And they will also motivate themselves and see that it's possible, and always encourage people with really individualization. Do not make it general. Do not take it personally, but also do not make it general. The generics are too generics. We are all humans. Share something deep. Every time I meet someone, I will give him an advice. I ask him, may I give you an advice, or just coach you, or just ask you a question? And if he say yes, then I give. If he say no, then it's okay for now. I'll just let him or her know that whenever he needs something, I'm here, and really here. And I collect and measure. That's how I measure now. It's with you guys. So if you liked this presentation, or the value I've given out, or what I can improve, please let me know. I would ask you, can you use constructive feedbacks? Because destructive one, nobody needs it actually. It's maybe just for your ego, but then keep it for you. Use constructive feedbacks. So here, I didn't like this that much because of that. Maybe it's too long. Maybe you can summarize or whatever. Give some advice that are directly doable now. So the power of questions. This is for any area of my life. I learned too late to use all these questions. Who, when, where, how, why, what. For each topic, whenever I have a new topic, I would ask myself, what is the topic? Why I'm doing it? What do I do with it? What is the thing about it? Who am I serving? Who need the information? When they need the information, or when is this happening that I have to deal with? Where is it happening? Because the where is about the environment. For example, you have a book and you have to analyze the book. Depending on who wrote it, his environment, when he was born, how he was raised, what he did in his life, the why of the book has different meanings. And when you understand this, whenever you have a speaker, a student, whoever, a human being, or even physical things, you analyze with those key questioning marks, then you have most of the answers. If you can answer deeply to that question instead of making your own assumption, is really asking the person, who is this? Why did he write a book on that topic? When? What do he want to show us? What is his mission? Why did he does this or whatever? So yeah, really ask question instead of making assumption, and rephrase, repeat. So if you still have any question, I have my phone number there. You can leave me a WhatsApp. I will answer it as soon as I can with my planning. And let me an email or whatever if you have any feedbacks. I am also reachable on LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm creating a YouTube channel giving quick tips, and it will launch soon in November. I'm preparing all the stuff. And it won't be something fancy because I have limited time on Earth, and I just want to give value as today, as those who are listening and just grabbing information and wanting to move forward. You cannot bring everyone on board. You can give what you know in order to help as much as possible. So thank you for joining us, me. I am grateful for being here and having the chance to speak to you guys.
Okay, so there you go, Diana, with a presentation on the 3H. So if you have any questions, please do bring up over here so that we can have a discussion on towards that. And by the way, Diana, I guess we haven't spoken about the humanity movement to the audiences as well. Would you be able to give a brief description in terms of what humanity movement is about? Yeah.
Sure. So humanity movement is about the 3H formula. Basically, it's about how I see is from utopia to reality. A lot of people tell me, Diana, it's beautiful what you're saying or how you see the world, but it's not realistic. And I understand. I accept for them it's not realistic. But actually, in my life and in my experience, it is. On a daily basis, I see the beauty, and I manifest quite a lot of things in my life just by putting an idea out there, and boom, someone comes to me and just asking for help out loud, no matter who is in front of me, and boom, things coming. It's really the law. There are some laws rolling into this world, and one of them is the law of attraction, and also the law of manifestation, gratitude, affirmation, or all these laws works. And if you see life as abundance, if you repeat and feel it deeply, embody that, hey, I have no limits in life, is abundant for me, and I have concrete example that I cannot ignore, that really it's happening. So yeah, this is really something deep for humanity movement. It's about going back to the basics and to build from bottom up. Governments, politics, UN, big companies are doing their best with what they have, the resources they have. Their best, I mean their best in terms of their objectives. And going against it is more a waste of time. In order to go against it, what I've decided to do is to build an alternative and create the missing part of it, and really guiding people more into their individual responsibility. It's too easy to blame big personality when you never have been to this position. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what they really feel. You don't know. Sometimes they have to make very hard decisions that involve millions of lives. And they have several pressure, but they still have to do it because they have their own fear, because they're in a position that they cannot do it differently. And if everyone is taking the responsibility to do their best with the level of energy they have at that moment, and to take care of their energy level and also their communication, how they communicate to the world. Because when you speak, the first person who understands the word is yourself. So if you say always shit, fuck, I'm tired, I'm not enough, poor, I'm not good, I feel low, I'm just not worthy, your cells will embody this. They don't make the difference because they are not brains, they are cells. Cells doesn't have brain, actually. So they just are executant, and they execute what you say. So if you still, from waking up, you say, oh, I didn't sleep well, I'm tired. All your body, see, live, you see me when I'm saying I'm tired, all my body, the shoulder go back, the body language go, huh? And I put myself into that position. We have this power. Instead, even if I know that I didn't sleep well, but till the morning I say, hey, thank you, I sleep 4 hours. Even if I know that maybe I need more, but actually I sleep 4 hours. And thank you for sleeping 4 hours. And today we're going to be into actions. Let's do it. And your executant just feel the energy. See, when I speak, shoulder up, power up. And it's very important for humanity movement. It's also to bring the awareness on little stuff that we do constantly just by mimetizing others, and we're not aware. For example, people who are crying or feel low, sad, we are like this posture. And then the tendency of the others who think someone is to put like this, to really like, oh no, and so on. Even with kids, we do this, oh no, it's okay, and so on and so on. And this put the person who received it into a very, very bad situation. It put them into a victim mindset. And whenever they will connect it with, okay, if I want to have attention, I can pat myself like this, and I will have the caring, and I can use this. Kids just say, oh, if I do this, then I have this, so let's use it. It's manipulation or influence, whatever words you use for that, but they know how to use it, and we know how to use it. I know exactly what to do when I want people to just grab me in their arms. So it's really making us aware. And how can you switch a person who is like this and not putting him into this constant, even unconscious victim mindset is, first of all, do not touch him. Ask if you can touch. If you touch the people in front of you, the person in front of you, then it should be an powerful touch. That means what I do is I put my hand in the back. Why in the back? Because the back is something that is supportive, and we have a skeleton, so it's the spine and everything then goes up. See, if I'm like this, and people just continuously, I will bring it down. But if then someone put the hand in my back, automatically I redress, I open back the shoulders, and I'm connecting again with the person, and I'm not into my mind anymore. And then you ask him to look at your eyes or whatever, and you speak slowly to that person. And really, this powerful touch, this is just one of the techniques, you have many, can help people out, and to not use that kind of victim mindset again and again because just you have attention. So yeah, humanity movement is really bring back people to these basics, little steps, and also teaching people how to pitch and to organize groups, accountability groups that amongst 5 people. What I want to create is more amongst a little tiny group of person, having this accountability, speaking about taboos that they cannot speak with their wife or whoever they have, and creating this atmosphere that someone cares. Actually, the main goal is someone pays attention and care and really listen. And then you can all create projects and follow each other on projects, because by doing this, you're motivating people in many areas and you're creating rapport. Rapport is connection. And actually, as I said before, when you don't give this to babies, they die from themselves. They kill themselves when they don't have love. So this is so important.
Right. I guess that message is especially important during this time, whereby the only communication platform with some people, it's only via online and via screen. So being a teacher right now, it requires all this kind of resources, skills, and probably in this type of understanding, so that you are more connected with your students during this time, right?
Yes.
And Diana, would you be able to share with us in terms of the COVID situation in your school, right? How are teachers and yourself working together as a whole in bringing quality education and engagement with your students in your school? Would you be able to share with us in terms of some of the most interesting or most important fundamental aspect of what a teacher or educator in your school are doing on a daily basis that are constantly engaging students as a whole, as a human being? Would you be able to share in terms of that to audiences that are watching right now?
Yes, sure. So
Mhm.
what they are doing, we are doing, what I can see and feel is really caring. Caring, sharing is caring. So caring, using different methods to attract and give the space for every different kids, because in this kind of private school there is very different personalities, characters, so we need to manage that, and is to give the power back to the kids and being here holding space for those who need something, but then it's to teaching them how to express their emotion and their needs, and to work in groups and projects to understand what they are doing is so important for your team, your students, your partner, to understand what you're doing and mainly why you're doing it. For example, when I ask my son, hey, I don't see you that often, I'm working and so on, and hey, do you know why mommy is doing this? And he look at me and say, sure, you're saving the world. And I just have to and and he seems like a pity when he say this, sure mom, you want to save the world. So this is the goal. Whenever I am not here anymore, because the thing I'm sure it's I'm gonna die, I show him who I am, how I evolved, and what do I care about. And when he grow up, then he will understand that it's not I don't give him attention, it's I'm doing something on a scale that is more than our own little us. And it's to make the student understand that what you are teaching, you are doing, is not for yourself, is for their future, for their life. And also bring on the table really topics that are not dealt in their house, and to make them actually cry together, and they can feel already the support together, laugh together, go through all this emotion together, learn how to eat, be more in the nature outside. At my school, we use permaculture, and I just took a course about social permaculture. Actually, you just observe the nature, and it has all the answer. In the nature, you can see so much differences, and also there is no one the same DNA. Then you just discover that you can apply all the process and the methods of the nature into human society and systems. For example, there are some trees, some big trees actually, who have big roots and nourishing all the area, and they connect. It's like an iceberg. You just see the surface, but actually on the ground, it's such a world. And it's like us, we just use 10% of our brain, our ability, because if we use more, then maybe we will leave less. This is maybe the monster protecting us. It's with that, and to know that you have this manageable app that you can use in the good for yourself first, and then automatically for others. It's continuously like a seed choose to grow. And whenever you decide to stop, it's okay, but you cannot downsize. I don't like people using the fact that, I am just not good at, just it. And you feel like you're down the valley. Actually, you're not down the valley. You're just stopping. And it's okay to stop, because when you stop, that means you're not going the right way, maybe. So when you have, again, the power, the willpower to uplift yourself, then ask yourself a powerful question or ask for help. People are not used to ask for help. And I think it's so needed if you want to create deep connections with whoever cross your way. Just ask for help. We are givers. We are naturally born with this amazing heart and hands to give and work together. So yeah, and it's okay when you say, I don't know how to deal with your situation, but I know someone who has your answers, or I can connect you with a book, or I can connect you with, I don't know, let's go to the nature and let's figure it out together. It's having this kind of accountability in your life. I'm sick and tired listening to people saying that the closest person can be counted on two hands. And why is this like this? I don't feel this. I feel that it's abundance, but we have to ask for it, to express our real deep desire and needs in order for ourselves to be aware of it first, and then for people to answer to it. It's like the kids. If you don't test the level of knowledge, how would you know what they need to learn more? You have to test. So test yourself too. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess Diana, one final question from our side before we wrap it up for the day. I was just wanting to find out from you yourself, knowing what you know right now today as an educator, as a coach, as a person that is giving back into people that you are touching on a daily basis, right? What are the form of assessment? You spoke about assessing feedbacks and knowing how to improve your ability and your quality of giving to students or to your parents, anyone beside you. How would you assess your personal progress? So coming from an educator's perspective, what are the key aspects or the key metrics that you focus on a daily basis to strive to be better in?
I learn one thing a day at least. One thing a day at least. And my vision is to, I want to grow. And I know why I want to grow. I want to grow because I want to become these huge, massive trees in order to give nurturements to others, to protect those who are less big than me, and to care. I really care about humanity. What I say is that humans are my family. Planet Earth is my home. Other species like animals, nature, and so on are my friends. So I really respect, care, tolerate, and try my best to do my best. And I'm in a continuously process of growing. And in order for me to grow is to learn new things. There's so much tool. Yesterday, I just learned how to generate leads. And this is massive technology improvement. And I talk to people that are in different areas. I don't close myself with the same like-minded people. I like challenges. I like debates. I like to know what is happening out there. And it's by connecting on Zoom around the world, and even with learnings, because now there are a lot of different groups. So on Facebook or on LinkedIn, whatever groups, just jump on some groups. put a topic out there, create a Zoom call, and share ideas. Because what I've noticed is I have so much ideas is because I speak to different level of people with different ideas, with different lifestyle, with different mindset, heart set. And then I have my toolbox expanding 10x. And then I just can choose, adapt myself with the language of everyone. But what I've noticed is really keep being simple, using words that a 3-year-old kid can understand. Because, as I said, you'll have all the answers in the nature, and nature is complex but simple.
Right. And I guess following up with one final questions on top of that as well, looking from the perspective or the context of effective education, right? What are the 3 main assessment criteria that you always strive to improve upon, or how do you really look, what are the key aspects that you really look onto to determine whether the education or the communication is effective in your perspective?
It's about measurement. You have to measure it in order to push it in a way or in another. If you don't have feedbacks, then you never know. So ask for feedbacks, but constructive feedbacks. And also use the body to memorize things. Use other techniques. Use hypnotherapy. I mean, I use a lot of different techniques, and every technique just reminds me the most simple one, gratitude. And then ask for help. And then do the action, because if you don't go out there, you won't receive. So just this, simply this.
Okay. All right, short and simple answers. And Diana, would you be able to do me a favor? Would you be able to bring up the slides on your email address and the context, just to bring it up so that those that will be watching later on will be able to get in touch with you from towards that. And those of you who are interested to find out and to connect with Diana over in Switzerland, right? Any teachers out there that wants to connect with teachers from Switzerland, please do get connected with Diana, right? Diana, are you on that page right now?
Yeah, I am on that page. Actually, is 20 ideas that you can use for creativity and accountability. So project management, games, construction, art, YouTube channel, social media, research, brain gym, design thinking, superpowers. All these tools you can use with kids, with your family, with everyone. Q&A session are very good, actually. Role play and brainstorming, music, movement.
Right.
So yeah.
And your email address, the slide with your email address and your contacts. Yeah.
Yeah, my email address is Duong, my last name .diana88@gmail.com. But it's easier to reach me out on Facebook or with WhatsApp.
All right. Okay, so for those of you who are interested to connect with Diana, so please do check with her on Facebook, get connected with them, and hopefully you're able to join the movement as well, the humanity movement, if that's possible as well, right?
Yeah, it's preparing, so it will be launched soon. And of course, just send me an email, and I will add you to the email list whenever you're interested, and follow the YouTube channel when it's ready. And share it. Mainly share it with those who you think it can save the lives.
Okay, all right. So I guess with that, Diana, thank you so much for joining in this education chat series. It's been a pleasure having you on board. We hope that teachers from Switzerland and everyone over there in Switzerland are in good health. Hopefully everything can go back to a better place as before. And I wish you all the best and all the success in future, right? So definitely hope that you are able to join us in future as well.
Of course. Keep in touch. Keep safe. Stay safe. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Diana. All right, so that was Diana from the Humanity Movement and all the way from Switzerland as well. So if you have any questions with regards to her Humanity Movement as well as all of her initiative, please do chat with her as well in her email or in her Facebook channel as well. Okay, so with regards to that, I'm going to cut this short, but a sneak peek of what's going to be happening next week on our EduChat series. So for next week, for those teachers or educators which are originating or coming from the Philippines, so next week we will be speaking with 4 amazing teachers coming from the Philippines, mainly those who are representing from all levels of education. So as we all know that in the Philippines, the public schools have just resumed following the pandemic, right? So, and with regards to us, that we hope to find out more with regards to what's happening over there in the Philippines, especially from the education perspective. So, what you're looking over here right now are 4 teachers coming from different levels. So, there's the first level, which are the K-6 primary school students, which will be represented by teacher Ian B. Orenio, right? And he's actually a math educator. I bet a lot of you have been tuning in the education chat series, have seen him, right? The teacher with $1 million smile, or the 42 million peso smile, teacher from Iloilo, right? And then we have the teacher representing the K-12 education, right? And representing this will be teacher Mariam J. Lepasana. So she is going to be talking to us about the different initiative and efforts that they have been pulling through during the entire past few weeks, right? When the school has been resumed, right? And also coming from the junior and senior high school, we have teacher Muhammad Ali Iramber. So he is actually a science educator from Pagadian City from the Philippines. So he will be sharing on his perspective as well, coming from junior and senior high school. And of course, coming from the tertiary education as well, we have Dr. Genesis G. Camarista. So he is actually an associate professor from the Philippines. So he will be sharing with us as well on the different efforts of lecturers coming from tertiary education, how's everything, the stories over there, the efforts, their experiences, their challenges as well. So for those of you who are coming from the Philippines, as well as teachers who are coming from different parts of the world, if you're interested to find out more about this, all about the education in the Philippines, please do not miss out on this session next week. And please do share this out with all of the teachers that you know as well. All right. So a very exciting times ahead of us next week. Right. So I guess with regards towards that, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in on to the education chat series. It has been a pleasure having Diana all the way from Switzerland joining us to share with us about the 3H in effective education. We hope that what her sharing over here has been tremendously value added, and also that we may be able to bring something good out of this session for today. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. This is Jay Wong here signing off from another EduChat series, and I will wish you a great and awesome weekend, and I will see you very soon next week, Saturday, with the 4 teachers coming from the Philippines. Take care, everyone, and I wish you good night.